What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Heads Up Sports Cards. It's Mike, and we're back for Throwback Thursday, episode 42. And this week we have a box of 1995 Topps Series 2 baseball. Not a whole lot to talk about as far as this box goes. We'll be looking for Griffey, Ripken, and Nomahhh Garcia Parra cards, as well as some first day issue Stadium Club and Finest inserts and stuff like that. So let's get right to the rip and see what we get. Episode 42. Holy cow. Ooh, a piece of cardboard keeping things in line. Lucky 13 cards per pack. Wonder if they did that on purpose. This is a smaller set than the Series 1 that we did last week, so we will see if what the dupes look like. All right, here we go. Kevin Brown. Got a Pat Kelly Cyberstats, shiny. Todd Van Poppel and Brady Anderson. And we have a first day issue Stadium Club of John Patterson. Very nice there. That's an insert set. Trying to get used to this new camera angle, guys. Sorry. Want to make sure I get all the cards. John Jaha, Todd Jones, Greg Vaughn, draft picks of Todd Green and Troy Percival. So Troy Percival, not too bad. He had a career. There's a Jeff Blesser and a Mark McGwire. I loved the curly mullet back in the day. Mickey Tettleton and Gil Heredia. All right. Right. On deck of Dan Carlson and Keith Williams. Darren Dalton is going to be our cyber stats. There we go. We got a Bill Swift, Greg Vonnegut, Greg Jeffries, Dwayne Ward, Jorge Farbregas, Mike Piazza, very nice there. A Kurt Abbott, Pedro Martinez, not the Hall of Famer, Sean Barry, and Kevin Mitchell. Not that Pedro. Oh, see, here's a good one. They didn't list this one on the sheet, but there's an Andy Pettitte draft pick card and Ruben Rivera. So Andy Pettitte, not bad. Mark Lemke is our cyber stats there. We have John Kruk, One Nut Kruk, Dave Fleming, Terry Matthews, Jeff Facero, Greg McMichael, Joe Randa and Joe Vitello, and Mark Barcelo and Marty Cordova. And there's Pedro. That's the right Pedro Martinez. And Rickey Henderson, Mark Guthrie, and Cal Eldred. All right, our third Greg Vaughn. Very nice. And Larry Walker, Cyberstats. Super cool picture here of Larry Walker. Really nice there. That's a cool card. And of course, he's a Hall of Famer now. And our finest card, Batter Up, I think it's called, or something, is Moises Alou. Very nice there from Topps Finest. Robin Ventura, Mark Lemke, JT Snow, Carlos Delgado. Draft pick, or prospects card of Elmar Diaz, Brett Hemphill, Jason Kendall, and Eddie Perez. Paul Wilson draft pick. Brad Osmus, Joe Boever, Steve Bedrosian, and Robbie Thompson. Steve Bedrosian's kid Cam plays in the league now, if you didn't know that. Here's not a bad card to double up on. Mike Piazza, second one of those. Jacob Cruz draft pick. There's Mark Guthrie and Carlos Delgado on the cyber stats. Very nice. Shiny, shiny. Chris Clemens draft pick. Tony Longwire. Phil Leftwich. Corey Bailey and Scott Hatteberg are on deck. Bobby Bonilla. Steve Finley, Steve Avery, Randy Velarde, and Darren Dalton. Let's see if we can find a few more big names for us in here. All right. Joe Randa and Joe Vitello. Rico Brogna is our cyber stats. Got another Corey Bailey and Scott Hatteberg on deck. Bernie Williams, Gilly Heredia, Russ Davis, Rich Monteleone, Brian Meadows. I'm Brian Meadows. And Tommy Davis, couple draft pick cards. And Jim Bollinger, Lenny Harris, Joey Cora, Alex's brother, and Kirk Gibson. Maybe we'll get better than the 1 per box odds on the finest. That would be nice. Nigel Wilson. There's a Sid Fernandez Top Stadium Club first day issue. Jose Valentin, Kevin Mitchell. Bill Risley is going to be our cyber stats there. We have Eddie Perez, Jason Kendall, Brett Hemphill, and Edouard Diaz again. Deion Sanders, Willie Adams, and Scott Spezio on deck. And Terrell Lowry and John Shave also on deck. Brady Anderson, Brian McRae, John Roper, and Troy O'Leary. All right, Corey Bailey and Scott Hatteberg on deck again. There's a Jeff King as our cyber stats. Roger Pavlik, John Patterson with the cup. Esteban Loaiza and Steve Pegues are on deck. Rob Nen, Paul O'Neill, Jason Peterson is our draft pick, and McKay Christensen. If that's somebody that should have made it, I don't know who was. Joe Girardi, there you go. Joe Girardi, Lee Smith, Darren Oliver, and Omar Vizquel. It's Brian Meadows again on the draft pick. Joey Cora is our cyber stats. Very cool. There's a Greg Gagne and Reggie Sanders, Sean Berry, Kevin Foster, Carlos Rodriguez, Wayne Gomes, and Kevin Jordan on deck. And then Andres Barrowman and Bryce Flory on deck. Lou Frazier, Rafael Bornegal, Matt Walbeck, and Bruce Ruffin. Bruce roughing them up. All right. Willie Adams and Scott Spezio on deck, and Robin Ventura is the cyber stats. Checklist on deck of Jason Isringhausen and Chris Roberts. There we go. Steve Bedrosian again. Rusty Meacham, Pat Cap. Here's a 95 prospects of Ozzie Timmons, Curtis Goodwin, Jeff Abbott, and Johnny Damon. There we go. Johnny Damon prospect card. Another checklist. Don Mattingly, always a good pull. Moises Alou, J.R. Phillips, and John Olerud. A couple sleepers in here that they didn't tell me about when I looked it up. All right. Jason Peterson is our draft pick. Greg Jeffries, Scott Livingston. Billy Ashley is going to be the cyber stats. The shiny. Bruce Ruffin. Jeff Bagwell. There we go. Dave Justice. On deck of Todd Green and Troy Percival. Rich Rodriguez. Maybe Johnny Damon isn't as awesome as I think he is. Jack McDowell, Rod Beck, James Newton, and John Patterson with the cup. But if if you've been watching my videos, you know that I'm a Red Sox fan. So anybody on the 04 team is pretty much okay with me. Wayne Gomes and Kevin Jordan, Reggie Jefferson, Cal Eldred, and then Danny Nagel is the cyber stats. Trey Moore draft pick, Craig Colburn, Jeff Cirillo, Jay Payton draft pick, Russ Johnson draft pick, Dave Stevens, Ryan Thompson, Bernie Williams, and Mike Kingery. Not sure if there's a relation to Scott. There's another Johnny Damon prospect card. The other guys don't really matter. Mike McFarland, Stadium Club first day issue. Will Clark, Mike Kingery again, and Pat Rapp, sorry. Danny Tartable, Devon White, Mark Barcelo and Marty Cordova, and Rich Hutzman and Roberto Pettagini. There we go, Roberto Pettagini. Andujar Cindeno, Chuck Finley, Scott Livingston, and Ozzie Guillen. All right. Todd Green and Troy Percival. Ozzie Guillen again. Spike Owen. Roberto Kelly, Cyberstats. J.R. Phillips, John Hudek, Jody Reed, Paul Wilson draft pick, Mark Johnson draft pick. Where are the Nomahhs, please and thank you. Kevin Stalker, Hector Carrasco, Jeff Fry, and Todd Van Poppel, who is supposed to be all that. Here's another Jay Payton. And Brett Saberhagen there for the Mets is our cyber stats there. Scott Lewis, Tony Gwynn, very nice. Dave Veras, Billy Ashley, Mark Lynchhorn, Bobby Bonilla, Terry Bradshaw, that's Terry Bradshaw, and John Frascatore. So there we go. Pudge, very nice, very cool. Pedro Estacio, Steve Bedrosian, and Kirby Puckett. Little OC there, but cool Kirby nonetheless. Barcello and Cordova. Brett Butler. William Van Landingham. There we go. John Jaha, going to be our cyber stats there. Another Landingham. Yorkis Perez, Vince Coleman, Tommy Davis, Scott Ellerton, Javi Lopez with the cup, Willie Banks, and Jeff King and Reggie Jefferson. There we go. Paul Wilson draft pick. Rob Welch, Brian Sachinsky, Greg Hansel, and Carrie Page on there. Mickey Tennelton. There's Dave Clark is our cyber stats. Ryan Nye, Denny Nagel, Pat Mears, Lowry and Shave, Cox and Glanville. You can hear Doug Glanville on MLB Tonight on the radio. Kevin Brown, Albert Bell, Steve Carsey, and Tom Gordon. There we go. Thought I was going to say Ivan Rodriguez. I was going to get happy. Bobby Bonilla, Benny the Jet, Henry Rodriguez, Cyberstats, Adams and Spezio, J.R. Phillips, Spike Owen, Bob Wickman, John Briscoe, McKay Christensen, Rick Heiserman behind him. Then we have Derek Bell, Ricky Gutierrez, Melito Perez, and Scott Lewis. Halfway through the box, we journey on, we march forward, we try and get it in one shot. All right, there's a Dave Veras. Mike Stanley is going to be our first day issue. Very nice. Manny Ramirez with the cup. Very cool there. Kirk Gibson. Omar Dahl is our Cyberstats. Rick Monteleone, Jose Lind, Jason Isringhausen, and Chris Roberts. Rick Heiseman again. Andy Bennis, Joe Girardi, Tony Gwynn, and Sean Berry. All right. Olivio Veras, Archimedes Pozo, Jason Camilli, and Miguel Cairo on the prospects. We have a checklist. Bailey and Hatterberg, another Kirby Puckett. Rick Monteleone is our Cyberstats. Deion Sanders, Billy Brewer, Graffinino, and Damon Hollins there. And Pedraza and Schneider, Phil Schneider. Tom Candiotti, Lou Frazier, Louis Soho, and Mark Guthrie. Mark Guthrie. It's because I asked nicely for Nomahhh that they're not going to give him to me. Next time I won't ask nicely. Ryan Nye, draft pick. Deion Sanders. Paul Wilson, draft pick. There's Cliff Floyd, base, and Cliff Floyd Cyberstats, shiny. Paul O'Neill, Mike Lieberthal, Larry Walker. Steve Ontiveros. Bernard Gilkey, Don Mattingly again. That one's very nice. Dave Fleming and Steve Bedrosian. My Steve Bedrosian collection is growing leaps and bounds. All right, we got Isringhausen and Roberts. Here's a nice one. Mark McGwire with the Moss. Shiny. Scott Livingston, Roberto Kelly, Gary Sheffield, Carlos Rodriguez, Bo Jackson, Darryl Strawberry. There's Nomahhh. Nomahhh draft pick. Very nice. Jim Leyritz, Jack McDowell, Roberto Kelly, and Randy Velarde. Graffinino and Hollins on deck. Brian Eversgerd is our shiny card. Got Bernie Williams and Jeff Wilson, Felix Jose, Pat Rapp, Jose Velarde, Rod Bolton, and Almeida Saenz, Jose Mercedes, Dwayne Singleton there. On deck, Gary Sheffield, Dave Stevens, Bobby Witt, and Joey Cora. All right. Next pack. That's a nice shiny card coming up. Start with Larry Walker, Pat Borders, Troy O'Leary, and a Mike Piazza Cyberstats. Nice one there, shiny. Mark Johnson, Dave Justice, Wes Chamberlain, Jacob Cruz, and Kevin Brown. Derek May, Anduar Cedeno, Felix Jose, and John Roper. Darryl Strawberry starting us off on this one. Greg Colburn. Got a Mike Lieberthal, MLB debut, so rookie first day issue. That's kind of cool. Rookie first day issue. Pedro Martinez for the Padres, Reggie Jefferson, Jeff Cirillo, Ced Fernandez, Roger Cedeno, and Ron Comer. Williams and Carlson for the Giants on deck. Rick Wilkins, Kevin Stalker, Alan Trammell, and Darren Oliver. All right, Bolton and Sainez for the White Sox on deck. And then we have Dave Justice, Rico Bronya, Pete Schrock, Shiny, Tom Gordon, Devin White, Mike Lansing. There's Sean Bergman and Shannon Penn on deck, and Andy Pettit and Ruben Rivera on deck. Very nice there. Carlos Garcia, Pudge again, Bill Swift, and Matt Walbeck. All right. Draft pick, Jacob Cruz, Kirby Puckett again, Bobby Witt, and shiny Jody Reed for the Brewers. Andy Bennis, Jody Reed again. Manny Ramirez with the cup again. Very nice. And David Bell, Joel Chimmels, Aaron Boone, and Lino Diaz are the prospects. Greg Vaughn, haven't seen him in a while. Louis Alicea, Javi Lopez with the cup. Butch Henry and J.R. Phillips. Cedeno and Coomer on deck. Larry Walker, Cal Ripken Jr., very nice, Ripken Jr., Chuck Finley, Melito Perez, Mark Leichhorn, Danny Jackson, Ron Gant, another Mike Piazza, Doug Jones, Kevin Brown, Landingham again, and James Moten. Still looking for our Griffey out of here. So probably the last card we'll be looking to hit. Bergman and Penn there. And on deck of Bergman and Penn. Very nice to have that. Randy Velarde. Marvin Freeman is our shiny card. Heiserman draft pick. Vince Coleman. Scott Erickson. Diaz and Relaford on deck. Randa and Vitello on deck. Eric Anthony, Derek Bell, Mike Gallego, and another Bernie Williams. All right, here's our prospect card with Aaron Boone on it. Mark Eihorn, Jeff Fry. Tom Gordon is our Cyberstats, shiny. Brett Butler, Pat Mears, Brett Saberhagen, Marshall, Shakinski, Welch, and Page prospects, and Perez, Kendall, Hemphill, and Diaz prospects. Mark McElmore, Eric Karros, Robin Ventura, and Scott Livingstone. Next up, we get a Ron Gant and shiny Scott Livingstone. Paul O'Neill on the first day issue, league leader. So another first day issue insert there. Jeff Fry, Bobby Thompson, John Briscoe, Yorkis Perez, Chipper Jones. There you go, our first sighting of Chipper. Hatterberg and Bailey, John Burkett, Mark Wohlers, Jeff Nelson, and Jeff Fry. 5 packs to go. 5 packs to go. We're getting to the end here. Thank you so much for hanging out today. We have a Steve Entrevinos, Veros, Robbie Thompson, Ozzie Guillen, Jeff Bagwell is going to be our Cyber Stats. Very cool, shiny Bagwell insert. Diaz and Relaford, John Lieber, Henry Rodriguez. There's a second Nomahhh. Thank you very much, Tops. And Brian Meadows for the 17th time. Jose Oliva with the cup. Greg Gagne. A second Cal Ripken card. Very cool. And Tony Phillips. 4 packs to go. Will we get our Griffey? Odds are not high. We have Terry Steinbeck, Roger Pavlik, and Albie Lopez is our shiny. Hansel, McKinsey, Welch, and Page, Dave Clark, Sandy Alomar Jr. That's a cool card. Picture alone. John Kruk, Mercedes and Singleton on deck. Adams and Spezio on deck. Terry Steinbeck, Will Clark, Andre Scularaga, and Jeff King. So 264 cards, and I think we got 263 of them. Will we get the 264th? Mike Kingery, Louis Soho, Eric Carros with the shiny. That would have been a cool card back in the day. Chipper Jones, Ricky Gutierrez, David Need, Sean Green, Kevin Brown, Jason Peterson, Bobby Munoz, Jason Beret, Mike Moore, and Steve Carsey. 2 packs left. There's a third Nomahhh. There we go. Very cool. John Patterson with the cup. Tony Phillips. There's Billy Brewer, shiny. Darren Oliver, Albie Lopez, Omar Dahl. Carlson and Williams are on deck. So are Gomez and Jordan. Chris Hoyles, Brian Anderson with the cup. Pat Kelly, and Melito Perez. All right, we are to our last pack. Thank you so much for hanging out at Heads Up Sports Cards. Let's get our Griffey in this pack. Let's go. One time. Here's Mercedes and Singleton on deck. Bobby Witt, Darren Dalton. Bernie Williams is going to be our shiny card. Cade Gaspar, Scott Ruffcorn, Mark Clark, another Andy Pettit on deck, and Johnny Damon prospects on deck. Pete Schrock, Brian Eversgerd, all right, Brett Butler, and Eric Young Sr. That will do it for 1995 Top Series 2. A lot of cool insert shiny foil cards, some first day issues, and some rookies for sure that we liked. Make sure that you join us next week for 1995 Topps Update Baseball. And find us on Facebook at Heads Up Sports Cards, now doing group box breaks. Football, baseball, basketball, we'll do it all. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe below. And, of course, buy the t-shirt. We will see you next time at Heads Up Sports Cards.